Donald Trump's already swinging the minority vote. You can hear it come from the zeitgeist. You can hear it throughout the internet. You can hear it from the town square. People, and this is why the Noah Yuval Hararis are already predicting that Donald Trump will win. Anybody who takes a hatchet to the progress that has been made with the black or other minority group vote in favor of Donald Trump, Latinos for Donald Trump, blacks for Donald Trump, all of them. Anybody who goes to work on that progress with something as stupid as trying to, besmirch Dr. Martin Luther King in public, for what reason? First off, you weren't there. I mean, it's no more appropriate that I would allow the FBI to discredit Dr. Martin Luther King than I would allow them to discredit Donald Trump. Or, if we want to go back even further, to discredit, George Washington. Because it is the same group of people that's trying to discredit all three. And you need to understand that. Not only are they going after Dr. Martin Luther King, or did they go after Dr. Martin Luther King, they're going after Donald Trump. But even more importantly, it's the same security state that sees the foundational beliefs and values of this country as a threat to their agenda. And that's them going after George Washington. And let's go a layer deeper. Even if the things that they're saying are true, that doesn't mean that doesn't mean that it discredits the ideas. And this is something even more important you all have to get through your fucking head. There are ideas that have a value that transcend the person who say them. This has a Christian basis. The basis of the basis of the validity in our scripture as Christians is that there are always two authors. There's the divine author and the human author. And the human author may have any number of flaws, any number of sins that have yet to be repented for. Any time is not linear. The past and the future are happening at the same time. So if your prophets or messengers may make mistakes in the future, as King David did when he slayed Goliath in the future, he had already coveted Bathsheba. But the things he was called to do by God still stood. And they stood the test of time. And when you try and make it seem like every messenger has to be pure, you're not only discrediting Dr. King, you're discrediting the United States Constitution. You dumb fuck. Are you stupid? And I thought black people had low IQ. Or maybe it's just my Norwegian side that's a little smarter than average, huh? Are you people dumb are you dumb as fuck? I thought the black man was supposed to have the low IQ. Can't you see what they're doing? Can't you see what they're playing on? And racism isn't a problem in this country. You go after Dr. King's legacy. Honestly, all I got to do is listen to what Dr. King said. All I got to do is listen to read what he wrote. I don't have to know who the man was sleeping with. I don't have to know because the ideas stand on their own merit. It's like, again, this is being used to wage a war on Christians wholesale. Because the same thing can and has been said about the inception of this country, and it's used to undermine the Constitution. Well, if you're really a Christian, I mean, how can you believe in the United States Constitution when Thomas Jefferson or George Washington were deists or they were Freemasons? You see where we're going? And if they were Freemasons, then they were obviously influenced by Jews. or you see what I'm saying? Right? I mean, and so we wonder why there's such a lack of patriotism. You people are fucked three ways to Sundays trying to find a smoking gun when the ideas on their own merit are right in front of you, and you suffer from such an epidemic of self-doubt, you don't even have the balls to stand up and separate the two. It's easy for me to separate the two. I can separate Thomas Jefferson saying the price of freedom is death, or Benjamin Franklin saying if you trade your freedom for security, you will have neither and deserve neither, and them having slaves. I can separate those two with great ease. In fact, it's the Joyanne Reeds that don't want me to separate the two. So what's the difference between you and Joy Ann Reid when you get down to that level? What's the difference between you and Yuval Noah Harari when you get down to that level? There is no difference. And this is where the Uniparty is not just a group of moderate political elites in the middle who shake hands and steal money from the American taxpayer. The Uniparty is the entire spectrum of people who are caught up in any number of psychological operations, any number of psychological mechanisms that are nothing else but divisive. And I don't say divisive in a woke way. I mean dividing people from the truth. I don't need to know. Did Thomas Jefferson have slaves? Yeah. Yeah. Does that discredit the United States Constitution? No. Was Dr. Martin Luther King sleeping with hookers? I don't know. Maybe. Actually, it's much more verifiable that Thomas Jefferson's flaws are more verifiable than Dr. Martin Luther King's flaws. When you really get down, I mean, if you want to go line for line, the flaws of our founding fathers are much more based in historical evidence than the flaws of a Dr. Martin Luther King. The flaws of Dr. Martin Luther King are mostly hearsay, especially of the social or sexual type, sexual politics. Now we're going to play sexual politics when it comes to Dr. King. Who next? Malcolm X? It's the same sexual politics they're playing with Donald Trump. Don't you see it? And they want to get you caught up in tit for tat. That's why I didn't like the whole thing where Joe Biden, Joe Biden's daughter said that Joe Biden showered. I don't give a fuck about that shit. Go take that shit over to the right-wing commentators who are caught up in the jerk-off. I don't give a fuck about what Joe Biden's daughter says in the fucking Me Too era. Fuck her, honestly. Okay, if she can provide some real proof and evidence in a country where the presumption of innocence is a cornerstone of our American citizenship, then more power to her. And with how bad I think they really want Joe Biden out of the way, we better take a real forensic microscope to the evidence that she may bring forward, because it might be baked. And even though I would love to see Joe Biden go down, if I allow myself to clap and applaud if he's taken out by improper and unethical, unjust means, then I'm no better than my opponents. And that's sacred honor, motherfuckers. That's the sacred honor that this country is missing. That's the sacred honor that you motherfuckers are missing. And I'm talking to all you motherfuckers out there who speak on politics. I'm talking to the commentators now. I'm not even talking to the audience. I'm talking to you. Charlie Kirk, I'm talking to you. Don't become the controlled opposition, knowingly or unknowingly. It's the same fucking thing I told Jason Whitlock, and it's not by accident that you two motherfuckers find yourselves at fucking, what the fuck was it called out there in Phoenix? Well, whatever it was called. I don't know. It's a great event. There's a lot of people out there I love, that I think are really, but I'm the hatchet man. I'm not here for fucking kudos. I'm just here to tell it to you the way it fucking is. Do not allow yourself to become the controlled opposition for likes, for traffic, for some presumed benefit of growing an audience, for some future benefit, for whatever the fuck your justification is. Don't become the controlled opposition. And to be honest, I've always been a bigger fan of Malcolm X than Dr. Martin Luther King. And even furthermore, I think there were many instances where Dr. King was co-opted and used to forward a civil rights agenda that even back then had designs to take civil rights and use it to undermine the Constitution or undermine America or undermine our identity or aid and abet globalism. I'm open to those conversations. No problem. Just say that. I mean, let's just say that then. We don't have to go. We play this game where we have to do what they do. I don't have to discredit an idea like the content of a man's character is more important than the color of his skin in order to say that the civil rights movement has been the linchpin of the New World Order since the 1960s. And if I can't separate the two out, all I'm showing is that my balls are little. And I'm unwilling to do that because my balls aren't little, so why would I lie on them? I can't speak to some of you. I can't speak on behalf of some of you. But it shows. It shows the lack of courage. And it's not even just a lack of courage, individual fortitude, integrity. It's a lack of faith. You don't think that the unadulterated truth will actually bear fruit.